Hey, bestie, and welcome back to this week's podcast. I do apologize for the quality of this. As always, this podcast is not for little ears. I will definitely be getting rid of this mic immediately tomorrow. I got it on Amazon Prime Day sale, and I thought because it was like a more expensive mic with good ratings, it would be good, but all it does is echo. Tell me why this thing was 50, probably my red flag was this was 50% off. It was originally $100 mic setup. And yeah, my $20 mic that I got originally to start was way better. I got it for this one for $50. It was originally 100. Then my $20 one does way better quality. Like this thing is echoing so bad. And it looks really fancy. It does. It looks like a fancy little mic setup. And I went, no. So I went back on Amazon Prime Day sale. I am dropping this one off tomorrow because I already selected the return. And I actually ordered from the same company. I got the cheap one because they actually make expensive mics that are on Amazon Prime Day sale. So I ordered one of those in hopes that they will be good. Because I mean that the one that I got was like 47 originally, like 80 or something like that that I've ordered that will be coming tomorrow. I'm really hoping for better luck with that because what is this sound quality? I am so sorry, you guys. Oh, and just in case, this is not the episode with Lily Tino's former friend. That will be the next episode. That will be on Monday because we do have that scheduled for this weekend. Really excited and also nervous because this is my first time like having a guest, but also my first time editing like somebody's voice for their privacy. So I apologize if it's like it's not the greatest. I am going to make sure I am going to. This is the first time I'll actually be listening to all of my podcasts before I post it because I literally record this and then just post. So like. Typically, if it's not something that I've had to schedule a day or two in advance, I am recording this crap and then posting it like 2 minutes later, after I convert it to MP3 on like a random website that I found that you can convert to MP3s for free. But I will make sure that I listen to all of that one to make sure that the friend's voice is 100% anonymous. I know there were some people who were concerned. They were like, oh, but you've given information saying that they got fired for, trying to out Lily Tina. I'm not worried. That is not too much privacy. Don't, like, that, or that's not enough privacy. Do not worry because after I posted that, my DMs have been flooded. Over a dozen other people with similar stories to this guy about Lily Tino fans attacking them when trying to post some things that they had done. So there's also the groups that Lily Tino was a part of that we're going to be talking about on that episode. There's like thousands of members, which is makes me sick to my stomach. But there's thousands of members in those. So and Lily Tino is no longer allowed back in them because ironically, there's a lot of incel behavior and only men are allowed in those ones. So yeah, they're not gonna let her back in. They also everybody knows who she is. I'm really hoping since Lily Tino is taking a unknown amount of time hiatus after the cousin came forward, saying that like because their cousin right after the cousin came forward, that seeing a former friend come forward too will make that hiatus permanent because she says it's not permanent and it needs to be permanent. I do have a quick question that I posted to TikTok, but I'm hoping somebody and I'm hoping like I'm bring this up on here too because I'm hoping somebody can answer this. How the fuck do you buy a fossil? And I know that sounds crazy. If you don't know what's going on, there's a creator who has done some problematic things. This is not me. I'm not trying to do an episode on them or anything like that, but they're within fandom space. They're in the furry fandom, and there's some stuff that happened, right? And I see this video pop up on my FYP of somebody being like, they bought a $13,000 fossil. Well, at first they just said they bought a fossil. And I was like, you mean like one of those little like shark necklaces or something, like you see it Myrtle Beach or something, and they're like $5 or $10, and they're like a little fossil looking thing. That's what I thought they were talking about. And then they showed me, showed in the video, they're showing everybody who's watching the video, showing this video, a fucking $13,000 fossil, and they're like, yeah, this fossil that they bought, and like showing pictures of them with this fossil. And I was genuinely confused because I was unaware that you could buy a fossil. When did that become a thing? And maybe this is like a Mandela effect. Maybe I'm just fucking crazy, and like having false memories or something. But I could have swore like fossils were like a thing that you're supposed to preserve in museums. I kind of want one. Like I'm not rich enough to buy no $13 fossil, $1,000 fossil, but like I'm just really confused. Like how? And I've been trying to research it, and everything I find just keeps saying that like fossils are only in museums. So like, how did somebody buy a fossil? Like, is that a thing people are doing? Is that just a thing that people make? Because I do know like this person had published where they had made like over $1 million in 1 year. Um, which, dear Lord, you know what I could do with over $1 million 1 year? I could open up the local Battle Buddies chapter. I could get like so much new stuff for the domestic violence shelter, all kinds of stuff. Like, anyways, but like I just was really confused because I genuinely cannot find any information on like people just buying fossils other than this person. And I'm like, really, like, could someone please explain to me how the fuck you just buy a fossil? Like, is that why are we not preserving them in like I understand, like I said, I kind of want one. I wouldn't buy one if I had one if I made over $1 million in a year. But like, I just I'm really confused about the fossil thing, and I can't find any information explaining. Like, is there auctions for them? Like, how do you just buy one? And who's selling them? Like, who is selling them? Like, why are you not giving them to museums? Why are you just like out here? Like, are there fucking archaeologists are out here just like fucking searching for fossils and then just selling them to the highest bidder? Like, isn't like archaeology like a type of science? Like, supposed to be like, you know, discovering things to better the earth. Are there archaeologists that just go out and like find fucking fossils and sell them? That just seems like a weird fucking thing to be doing. Like, is that someone's career path that they go out and find fossils to sell? Is there like fossil scalpers? Like, we got Pokemon scalpers and there's also fossil scalpers because like they're rare? Because I just feel like it doesn't, I'm sorry, it's just so weird to me and I can't find any information on this. Like, every time I try to look, Google's like, no, fossils are in museums and archaeologists use them for science and history. And so, like, how the fuck was this stolen and obtained in just like a regular thing? Like, every time I see a post about this now, because it's been all over my FYP, people are just like, oh yeah, they bought the fossil. Okay, I understand this person bought a fossil. My question is, how the fuck and why is everybody acting like this is a casual thing to buy? I just feel like it's not and it's not me dogging on this person because I'm sure there are plenty of other people who have bought fossils since you can apparently just buy them. But like, I just want to know why and how. Speaking of fandom space, I are the furries okay? Are y'all okay over there? Cause what the fuck do you mean a man that tried to rape his own cat was at some big convention? I don't that's like diamond tier plob. And I don't mean like diamond isn't a good thing. I mean like that is top tier disgusting. A lot of people were saying that he smells. Apparently he's also a Nazi, which I did see some picture. Yeah, some of the pictures that were shown. But this guy like was approved and was like walking through a fucking parade, and I'm like, this is what's wrong with fandom. Like, cause Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck? I've never been to a furry convention. I went to like it was like a furry meetup thing for my friend because I was their handler because they couldn't see in their furry suit like many years ago. I like they had asked me, they were like, hey, can you like because they didn't want other people to know that they were furry and they knew I didn't give a shit. But I've never like been to a full on furry because I'm not a furry, so it doesn't like apply to me, right? I do think the mime thing is cool. I saw some pictures. Apparently, there's like groups of people that like go as mimes. I don't know why. I don't know the lore behind that, but it seems funny. But apparently, like this was all over my FYP because of people talking about like fandom space. There was this week or last week. Sorry, now it's like last week. There was this convention in Pennsylvania, which I actually saw a news article about. Like Pennsylvania is apparently super. But Pittsburgh itself is like a super furry city, like to the point where like people furries move there because they're so like welcoming of furries and in this convention like the mayor was talking about it on the news. It was really wild to see. um but they're talking about like they love furries and how much money it brings the city and stuff, right? So this is like a massive furry convention and like a well-known um bestiality zoophile piece of shit who is also a Nazi. Like there's literally pictures of this dude who has like he has a fucking Nazi armband and one of them and shit on his first and I saw a picture of him. Tell me what, I saw a picture of him outside of his like with his head off. I don't know why he had the, but he was like in the costume, but he had like the fur head off, right? Or fursuit head, but the fucking head part. Okay, he had. I could see his face. I could see his head. That's the point. I don't know. I don't know all the technicalities. I'm still learning because, like I said, my friend's daughters came out as one, and I've been trying to help her, which is how I ended up down this fucking rabbit hole in the first place. And I keep seeing things that I can't unsee. Like to be clear, I'm not dogging on furries in general. 95% of furries seem to be amazing, sweet individuals. But there's that 5%, and I think that's why they get so much shit. Which one thing that always threw me off is like why people like in fandom space gave furry shit because I'm like, bro, you're a cosplayer, or oh, you're a Magic the Gathering player, or you fucking play like Warhammer or World of Warcraft or something, and you're giving furry shit. You know damn well we get shit for being for plobs, like furries have their own plobs. And we get shit in fandom space. If you're in any nerds fandom space, anime, gaming, comics, doesn't matter, tabletop, you get shit because of that 5% that's plobs, and that's kind of like how furries have too. Um, and this motherfucker though, he take like in this picture, he does not have his fur head on. And I see what he looks like, and my brain goes, yeah, that's a plob. That why does he look exactly like how I thought he was gonna fucking look? Why why is there like a fucking I feel like it's a fucking cruel joke from God where he's like, let me make every plob have the same genetic makeup or some shit because they all have a similar like why do all plobs look like that? Because I have never met a plob that didn't have a certain like and I've talked about this before. They all seem to get the same haircut, same beard cut, like what is going on over there, buddy? And it doesn't seem to matter if they are super skinny or super plus size, or if they're old or young, or if they're tall or short. They all seem to get the same fucking haircut. What are y'all doing over there? And if they can grow facial hair, they grow it the exact same way. It's like a uniform to them. Plobs, no matter if they're Magic Gathering plobs, no matter if they're like gaming plobs, card game plobs, like Warhammer plobs, if they're D&D plobs, if they're gaming, like it does not matter what fucking flavor of plob they are. They somehow all are like, this is the haircut I'm getting. And I feel super bad because I know there's probably some super sweet and amazing people out there who were like, this is a really cute haircut. And they get that exact haircut, not knowing the meaning behind it. Also, just a quick reminder, because at least once a month I will get this comment. And it happened again. And this poor guy was like, oh God, I'm so stupid. I'm like, no, it's okay. Because at least once a month I get a comment of somebody being like, I have beard hair on my neck. Does that make me a bad person? Blah, blah, blah. Because we use the term neckbeard. Let's talk about a little bit if you don't know the history of neckbeard. Neckbeard does not mean like, it's not just everybody who has hair on their neck or has a beard on their neck. So neckbeard is a term like plob that came out like over a decade ago, but because of that, like TikTok is kind of like about that word because it's evolved enough that like it's well known enough as what it is. And it's kind of like an OG term of a plob, except for it's very specific to gaming space. While plob is like anybody in any fandom space, where it's like anime, cosplay, for whatever space that does this shit. But the term neckbeard, it came about because there was like a big issue within fandom space back in the day where they would always wear a fedora, like all the plobs wore fedoras, and they were like, my lady, first of all, why are you talking like a gentleman, but you haven't fucking showered in a month? And like, they were the OG pheromone maxers, and they were the 4chan Reddit and like Reddit subredditors and all that stuff, the 4chan OGs, and they for some reason a lot of them would keep hair on their neck, but like not the rest, or they would either keep hair just on their neck, or they would keep hair on their neck and a mustache and then shave the rest. And that was like a look that they did. It was very, or sometimes they'd have like a couple of hairs other places, but like that's where the neck beard thing came from. So it's not making fun of people that just have like a beard on their neck. It is a specific kind of person. Like there's plenty of neck beards that don't have a beard at all. It's like a slang term. But I have at least once a month, there's a guy that will come on my video and be like, what did I do? I just have, doesn't mean I'm a bad person. Or I even have one guy who was like, a beard's supposed to go on your neck? And I was like, sir, what? And then like I sent him a video on that particular thing, and he was like, oh, my bad, I didn't know. And I was like, yeah, it's not the same thing. I'm really surprised that that's still a thing though, like that people don't know, because neckbeard's been a term for like, I don't know, like 15, freaking probably more than 15 years. I think the first time I ever heard it was like in like 7th grade or something. So yeah, it's been like over 15 years. I was literally like young in middle school, and the first time I heard that, I heard it in a local card shop, and I was like, what is that? And then my buddy Jason explained it to me, and I was like, oh. Speaking of that, Con has issued an apology, but as a lot of people pointed out, a lot of people do not think it's genuine because the cat dude, his suit's a cat, by the way. He's also like a super Christian, which is really confusing because, like, sir, you're a Nazi that tried to fuck your cat. What the fuck do you mean? Like, you're trying to preach the gospel at fucking fur cons and shit, too, on top of that. But they issued like an apology, and a lot of people are saying it's not genuine because the guy that, the guy that was in the parade and shit, he is buddies with apparently the con organizer, and there's like pictures of them together, which is how they're pretty sure like the guy even got approved. Because apparently for this parade, like many like parades like you see at other cons, like cosplay parades and stuff, like Dragon Con's parade and shit. You have to be approved. Like you can't just like walk in it because you feel like it. You have to like be approved. And that's why people are like, yeah, we're pretty sure he got approved because he's like buddies. Here's picture proof that he's buddies with the organizer. So I feel like the only reason they like apologized for it was because people started to backlash. But apparently he's been well known for this for like years. Another con plob incident that happened, if you have not seen, is at an anime con, same weekend, same fucking. Why is it? What was going on this weekend? They had to close the con down a couple hours early because there was a guy who wouldn't stop jerking off in the fucking convention bathrooms. So he apparently took a honey pack. There are people who say they witnessed him taking a fucking honey pack. If you don't know what that is, please stop fucking taking them for the love of God. If you are under the age of 25, please go see a medical professional. By the way, I did a whole video on why these are unsafe, and like safe alternatives and stuff if you're under the age of 25. But it's basically black market. Oh, it's not black market, but you can get it at like adult stores. You can also buy it on TikTok Shop. But it's knockoff Viagra, which the ingredients in it, if you ask any medical professional and you look for the ingredients in it, and they do have a disclosure. They actually have a disclosure for this, so to prevent people from suing them for this. It can cause, it's unlike Viagra, which Viagra has like side effects too, but unlike Viagra, it is not regulated and can literally cause like all kinds of permanent issues. Like you take too many honey packs, or even if you just take like one, like and your body has a bad reaction, like you're gonna end up with ED for the rest of life, and you're never gonna be able to take pills for it because your body is not gonna be able to handle it. So you're just gonna be limp for the rest of your life. Please do not think like please just go to a physician if you are having that problem. You are under a certain age. That is a sign of a medical condition. Not and also the whole like coming quickly. I see a lot of people being like, "Oh, take this so you last longer at bed," and they advertise it towards young boys, and it pisses me off so badly because one, it's unsafe, but two, like it's pushing this stigma that like you're supposed to be able to fuck for hours. Nobody is fucking for hours. Now they might be doing like kink and other things, but like when it comes to like basic, but no one's fucking for 6 hours. If they are and they need to go to the hospital, there's something fucking wrong. And I understand the frustration. Trust me. I have a whole fucking video. My ex that flew out for the Bonnie Blue 1,000 Men thing I've talked about before. I understand the frustration. I have partners that I've literally dated, never actually been with because they could not make it inside before nutting. So like I understand the frustration and stuff there, but here's the thing. There is it's something that has to be worked up to, right? Like there's stamina. It's just like working out. Any like regular workout. You're not going to be able to immediately run a fucking 10K the first time you run. Like so I hate that we like shame people over that because yes, I get it's frustrating. I get it's frustrating. But I think part of the frustration there too is like the stigma around women like or men either way like getting themselves off afterwards. Like can we just fucking all as a society accept that like shit happens, normal bodily autonomy, things happen, like you have to work your way to, there's what is the word called, there's build up, right? Like there's build up, you have to build up a tolerance, but also like let's make fucking using toys normal because there's a fun fact, majority, more than three-fourths of women admit that they cannot get off simply by penetration, and that's normal because it has to do with body autonomy, it has to do with nerve endings and the way that their vajayjay is set up. Anyways, the point is, let's normalize it. It's fine. Like, let's stop the stigma because you now have young men who are taking these harmful honey packets and potentially doing permanent damage to their body because of a fucking stupid stigma. Because that's like I said, a lot of these ads, they are paying you'll see large male creators who are like 18, 19 years old advertising this to young men and talking. There's one video, I even got a recording of it, where the guy straight up is like, oh, I can't believe they're selling this to any age, aka hinting like that you can buy it underage. So back to the con story though, the guy had taken this honey packet and in front of people and then went into the stall, and people were lining up and trying to figure out like what the fuck is going on. Why is like this stall been for a while? Somebody ends up climbing under the stall and seeing the guy excessively jacking off. He is excessively gooning, fapping, whatever the fuck you want. He's jerking his fucking meat in the stall. And it got to the point where, for like, I don't know, safety what happened there, that they decided they were going to literally shut the con down a couple of hours early before it was closed, because to deal with that situation. There was also like 4 or 5 people I've seen in comments and stuff talking about how apparently this guy stunk and you could smell him through the stall. So people thought he was shitting apparently, because of his BO, and it turns out he was just jacking it. I don't know what screams plob more than smelling so bad that, for one, taking a honey packet while single, or I don't know if he was single or he just didn't have it or what happened there, but like he wasn't with a girl or a man or whatever his preference was. But like to take a honey packet at an anime convention and then jerk off into a fucking public bathroom stall, but smell so bad that people thought that you were shitting. That's why people didn't know that you were gooning in there. That's insane behavior. I would bet fucking $100 right now on the fucking table. 100. Oh, sorry, that echoed. I could hear that. I am so sorry. But I would bet $100 right now on the fucking table that this guy spent a shit ton of time in the gaming room, because it's always the ones that spend all the time in the gaming room. What's funny is I've never uploaded these. I'm so bad about this. I have cosplay pictures that have been professionally done. Like I have like 19 or 20 folders from like years and years of them, and I've like showed them before on TikTok, just being like, oh, look at all this that I need to upload to Instagram at some point, and I still have it. But I have this one particular set that is me dressed as Shigaraki, and it's supposed to be like casual Shigaraki, like if he went to a convention, and I'm wearing like League of Legends shirt and all that stuff, right? And I had the pictures done. I had a photographer take these photos in the gaming room at MomoCon, which is a 24-hour gaming room. By the way, if you don't know, their gaming room is 24 hours. Which, I mean, I know there's been talks that they're going to like make it shorter or whatever, but this was a couple years ago, and there is some photos in that folder because they did give me some of the like funnier ones. Like I got my like professional ones, but also some of the ones that they didn't edit because they just thought it was funny because we were making jokes about it. Where you can see me making faces and struggling to keep a straight face and stuff. And we were like trying to get in and out as quickly as possible because that area smelled so fucking bad. And we could overhear people talking about how they were going to do the same thing that I've talked about people doing before, where they stay for 24, they stay the whole time there. They don't get a hotel, they don't bring changes of clothes, they never shower. Like, even though, if you, first of all, if you can't afford somewhere to stay, and change your clothes and stuff and bathe while you are at a con, then you cannot afford a con. Just because you can afford the tickets, if you can't afford somewhere to stay, like you should not be. No, that means you can't afford the con. Do not go. And unfortunately, you see this a lot. If somewhere has a 24-hour gaming con, that's why some conventions have stopped having 24-hour gaming cons, because of these plobs doing this nasty shit, right? Um, so we were in there, and like there's so many pictures like that. I also have some pictures at a smaller con here in Texas that I went to, and I did Penelope from Wreck-It Ralph. And I wanted to take some pictures next to the like old arcade games they had there to like fit her theme and stuff, right? It was Colossicon. It was the Texas Colossicon. So I'm actually in like this like this candy themed bikini. A lot of people have seen it because it's a swimsuit convention kind of thing. Like I mean, you don't have to be in a swimsuit, but like they have like a water rave and stuff, because it's at like a water park hotel and stuff, and it's really cool. It's really fun. Colossicon has always been like a water con. They originally started in Ohio, and I used to go there all the time as a kid because it was the closest convention to us other than Sebasticon. Sebasticon's the only like anime convention in West Virginia. I mean, they didn't have like Charleston Con, which is like Comic Con stuff, but like when I was little, it was Sebasticons. That's all you got. So we go over to Colossicon, and that was in Columbus, Ohio. And I will never like forget some of the smells and stuff I smelled back then and whatnot. But yeah, this con does not have a 24-hour gaming in Texas for their new branch in Texas. Actually, I have some beef with ClassiCon for like switching their stuff out, because originally they were going to be like a con near my birthday, and I had gotten like a sponsor for my birthday, all this shit. But then they moved it last minute, and like there's a lot of people have beef with them for this. But anyways, we go to this con, and we were in there taking pictures, and Penelope, and I'm like trying to get these cute, funny pictures of her, and it smelled so bad. I have some still photos of that too in my camera roll, because it wasn't even like a professional shoot. It was just my friend taking photos of me, and you could see like the look on my face and stuff of how bad it smelled in that gaming room. So at least we know it's like a fucking worldwide phenomenon, well, countrywide phenomenon, to be nasty. It can, like, these plobs have no shame. Like I talked about earlier with like furries and stuff, and why I don't understand people giving hate to furries, even though I'm not in that fandom space. I don't understand why people give so much hate to them, because those plobs, those ones that stink up the place and stuff, are why we get shit too. Like, as gamers, like as gamers, as anime fans, as cosplayers, we deal with the same thing because that's only 5%. That is like 5% of the community. But if you look at any like somebody who is not in fandom space at all, like what a lot of people refer to as normies or whatever, and you look at them and they talk about like cosplay or video games or anime or something, that's the people they fucking think of. That's the first people that come to their mind is these nasty, stinky plobs. And I know a little bit of that changed in 2020 with the like boom of it, but we're getting back to that now that it's not like a trend anymore. Um, and as much, and that's what we're seeing even more of is people thinking once again that plobs are the representation when it's just such a small percentage. My next guest on my podcast after Lily Tino's former friend is actually going to be somebody who I am mutuals with, who is a small creator that wants to talk about some of the positive sides of fandom and share their story. That'll either be like a week or a week and a half from now. It will not be in the same one as Lily Tino's friend. And then I have a couple more people who are already lined up. I actually need to message them back because I talked to them a little bit about it. And then I had not gotten a chance to respond back because I got so much spam. I've been trying to find the message again. I do want to say something really quickly because I've been seeing a lot of this lately. I just want to say if you are one of the horrific people who, and I highly doubt that anybody like this listens to my podcast, but just in case, or maybe you're listening to this around people, so hopefully they'll hear it if it's one of these people. If you are one of the horrific people who has been mocking the little girls who passed away, like the bitch who made a comment about the two recent ones that were recently found, like the bodies that were just found, and the two little girls were holding hands and made perfect comments about them and stuff, just because of them living in the South. I just hope that, first of all, I hope that your socks are always wet. But I also hope that you fall for some sort of fucking weird ass scam where you are scammed out of everything and end up on the fucking streets, you worthless piece of fucking shit. I don't understand how you could be so fucking inhumane that you would mock literal children who drowned to death that were so scared in their final moments that they were holding each other's hands. And to the bitch who made fun of them that got fired from her job after calling all those little girls cunts and everything else and like saying they deserve to drown to death just because they were in like a red state or whatever. Um, yeah, I fucking have your name and shit written down, and I am going to regularly once a week fucking check. That way, I'm going to be checking LinkedIn. I have friends that are still in HR. If you don't know, I used to work HR for a parent company for a Pygin that owns a bunch of small little companies and stuff. And I still have some friends that work in HR, several friends that still work in HR and are on a lot of different employment sites. And I have sent them your fucking name, and I am going to be checking regularly. We are all going to be checking regularly to see if you're fucking applying for anywhere. That way, if you get another fucking position, you will also be fucking fired from there. And I will make sure the whole fucking internet knows where your new job is because you are a fucking piece of shit. And I apologize for the rant for anybody who's like, what the heck? Because I feel like nobody that listens to this podcast would be that horrific of a person. But if you're unaware, there have been some horrific people who've made some unbelievably horrible comments about children who have passed away in the flood. And there was one lady in particular who wrote like a huge paragraph calling them all kinds of names, calling them sluts who deserve to burn in hell, calling them cunts, and all kinds of horrific shit, and making fun of them and saying how she hoped they suffered and all of this shit, um, just because they lived in Texas. Making fun of these little girls, these little small children, these elementary school children who passed away, that they're still finding the bodies of due to the flood. And she has been fired after that she got found. There's also another creator, a creator actually, not so the first person, the first lady was not a creator, but there was a creator who actually posted mocking them and asking people, said like she made another account because the first account got taken down, and then she was telling people that she deserved like $25,000 because those little girls passed away in the flood, and her making fun of the little girls got her got her account taken down. Like the second lady had her account taken down because she was saying horrific things about these children and saying they deserved it and mocking it and just horrific comments, which you can look her up. There's clips of her. I think JD DeLay even posted a video with clips of her. If he's the one I'm thinking of that I reposted, because I've had a few mutuals like post videos about her and showing the shit she's doing. And she was literally on live trying to get people to give her money and being like, oh, since you guys got my account banned for saying that stuff about those little bitches, you deserve, like, you need to pay me. First of all, the only person who needs to pay you is my fist to your fucking face, bitch. I think it's really fucking crazy that grown adults will mock dead children and mock their suffering online. But I guarantee you she wouldn't fucking say that shit to somebody's face. Because, baby, Texas is a mutual combat state. I will take you in the ring any fucking day and I will rip your fucking hair right out since you want to fucking flop it all over. That was something that pissed me off. Is she is like swaying her hair in one of them, like one of those girly girls being like, don't I look so cute while I'm making fun of dead children? Bitch, I will knock every fucking nail off you and every fucking tooth down your goddamn throat. You are a grown woman making fun of children that just experienced a tragedy that passed away. They're still finding bodies. And you think it's fucking hilarious? You're mocking them and saying they fucking deserved it because they lived in Texas? I'm gonna say something that I don't care if this gets me canceled. I fucking wish there was an option for you to trade places with them because you're the one that deserved it, not them. Any grown adult that would be so fucking horrific, just publicly, which God knows what they're saying in private. God knows what they're saying in private. And it's like I said last week, it was super sad that these amazing, sweet, innocent people, or these amazing, good-hearted people, like the Fox woman, pass away so early, and then we have shit like that that's wasting fucking air on the planet live to be fucking like 80 and 90. Okay, let's get back to the funny, gross plob stories now. I apologize for that little rant, but like, if you have not been seeing this stuff, you are very fortunate. I am jealous of you to not have to see this stuff, but being someone here in Texas and seeing the horrific tragedy, but also seeing the horrific monsters that are making fun of it. Like, I have seen so many grown adults being like, I hope they. First of all, it's mostly women. I actually have not seen a single man say anything like this, and I'm sure they're out there. I'm not saying that they're not, but like, it has mostly been women. It is like I have seen all of these women saying horrific things about these little girls who passed away and stuff, like, and about like the father who literally held on to his child during the flood, which made it so they both passed away when he could have lived if he had let go of his child, but he refused to let go of his child. And I cannot imagine like the horrific stuff that they're going through, and to be so cruel and so heinous and be such a waste of air of a person to say these things very publicly that these people have been saying. And it tells you a lot about them, because if they are that comfortable putting their face on camera saying that shit, God knows what they're saying behind closed doors. Okay, like I said, back to the funny, silly stuff. I apologize for everybody who had to hear that rant, but just in case somebody is within your space, I wanted to make sure I was clear where I stood on that. Also, this is just a quick reminder. If you're ever debating, like, oh, should I post that video? Or it's not that, just post it. Because once again, I have a video getting a crap ton of views that I definitely didn't expect to. Every single video, like if you click most popular on my page and see these videos, every single one of them not a single one that has a shit ton of views are videos I planned on going viral or getting a shit ton of views. And this one's like, I think it's, hold on, I'll check right now as we're fucking speaking. It is currently at 150,000 views. And I just posted a couple hours ago, and I'm like, what is happening? I definitely expected like 5 people to see this because I've been shadow banned lately, and apparently there's just a bunch of people who are like, yeah, this is fucking hilarious, and it's the story about my great grandmother who beat up a pedophile. So if you haven't seen it, basically on my great grandmother's deathbed, she confessed that she was the one that beat up the pedophile that moved into the neighborhood when I was a kid. There was a pedophile that he went around letting everybody know because he had to, like, that was part of the rules of him moving there. He moved literally one street away from the closest you could be to a school. So he's literally right as the closest, like right on the line, because there's like a middle school and an elementary school not far down, and you had to be so far away, and he was literally right on the line. He found a house as close as humanly possible. He had a conviction and has served time for raping a child under the age of 12. He moved in the neighborhood for less than a day. After he alerted everybody, he then, like, the next day was like moving in, and the day after he started moving in, everybody saw him like beat the fuck up. Like, dude was busted as hell, like bloody and shit, packing all of his shit up and then leaving, and then he like sent people to come pick up his stuff, like the rest of his stuff that he had already like hacked, because he didn't even finish moving in, so like just reload what was already moved out basically. and, like, we never knew who did it, but, like, nobody said anything. I remember the cops coming around, and, like, they talked to my grandmother for, like, 2 seconds, and they talked to my great-grandmother next door for, like, 2 seconds. Um, and on my great-grandmother's deathbed, she admitted that she's the one that did it. She even told us exactly how she did it. She was, like, confessing to the preacher that came in, or priest. I don't know if he was preacher or priest because I was young. I was, like, 11 when when, the confession happened, and I was just sitting in the back of the room like, "What the fuck?" And my grandmother's looking at me like, "Bitch, you better not say shit." But yeah, that video is going viral. I did not expect that. I've had that sitting in my drafts for like 3 months. So this is your reminder to just post that shit. You never know. You never know. I do know that if you plan out a video and do a bunch of work on it, it's gonna shadow ban though. I don't know what that curse is, but that's just how it works. That is how fucking TikTok works. Just a quick reminder, because I just remembered this. I usually put this tip out every single year, and I somehow managed to forget. If you are a cosplayer or any kind of fandom space, go to Amazon Prime Day sale. Oh my gosh, there is so many cosplay wigs and stuff like that. I know like Amazon cheap wigs are not the best, but with enough styling experience, and you start learning, there's plenty of free tutorial videos. They're also great for learning. Like if you're just trying to learn, please go on there. Like, oh my gosh, I've gotten like $30 wigs for like $5 and use them to like help learn different styling techniques. That way I don't feel bad for like if I destroy them because they were $5. But they're still a lot better quality than a $5 wig at Five Below though. It gives you more of an experience because if you're getting like the $5 ones from Five Below or the $1 ones they have at Halloween on um like at Dollar Tree, those ones you can't really like do any real styling practice with. I was reminded, unfortunately, though, while looking through that sale, because I didn't get any this year because I didn't have any that I liked, but I liked Miku figures, and I always get them like cheap, like on Amazon Prime Day sale or Black Friday sale, or like if there's a sale, I've never paid like full price. Same with like my Loungefly, my pops and stuff. But I every time I go look at Miku figures, I get reminded of those blobs that like underage anime figure girls because while looking through the Miko figures that were on sale, I also found some on sale that looked like they were like 5-year-old anime girls, like they were very clearly children bodies anime figures that were on sale. And the amount of like, how to legal tell you like the reviews and stuff and like how many reviews, and there was so many very disturbing ones. Why is it still legal? What makes no damn sense is if you're unaware, like there's several states that just passed some like new laws about porn, like where you have to. It's similar to the law that Texas has had for a while, where you have to like log in with an ID and shit to access Pornhub and whatnot, or just use a VPN and say you're in a different state. But like, there's a bunch of other states. That's I have no shame. I'll admit that's how I found out because I went to like listen to this men whimpering audio that's on Pornhub, and like I fucking was so pissed because it was like, oh, you're in this. I was like, wait, did I not turn my VPN on? Because I'm getting that same thing where it's like, oh, and then I found out it was actually because like more states had passed that, so I had to find another state to put the VPN to. The irony is I have a fucking login for Pornhub. I just don't fucking remember it, and so I haven't like I haven't been on. No, like I can't. I don't feel like fucking sitting there and trying to deal with it. Like so I just fucking use a VPN because it takes like 2 seconds, right? So uh, we have laws like that for that kind of stuff. But then any of these nasty plobs can like freely buy fucking anime figures that are dirty, not safe for work anime figures of like child bodies of like 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 like year old looking anime figure bodies. They can just buy that freely, like but I gotta show ID to watch fucking adult content made by adults as an adult. Like, make that fucking make sense. Speaking of shitty human beings doing shitty things, is anybody else deeply concerned for Laura Clary? Because if you don't know, I used to watch her like many years ago. Whenever she did make videos with Steven, I'll admit I haven't watched her much lately. But I used to love her videos. That she would make that really funny, like the Pamela Pumpkin and stuff. If you don't know, her ex is in active addiction again and is super abusive. And there's like a whole situation at one point he hacked her and was like posting horrible stuff. But he has recently posted a video saying that, people that have nothing to lose is dangerous and how he's going to post some stuff on private. And it's really scary as a survivor of domestic violence and as a volunteer in the domestic violence field, seeing the things that I've seen. It is terrifying. It is terrifying seeing that video. Like, I genuinely hope she is going above and beyond for her and her kids' safety because you could the look in his eyes, and if you've ever been in a domestic violence situation or even a childhood abuse or anything like that, like where you've seen an abuser have those eyes, it is fucking terrifying. It actually does, and the crazy part about those eyes that we talk about, like narcissistic eyes and abuser eyes and stuff, is there is like a whole biology behind it. This isn't just like a figure of speech. There's an entire biology behind that where like it has to do with the way like things are circuited in their brain in those moments. Like that's why people will say like during a fight, oh, it looked like their eyes went like black or whatever. And it's actually has to do with pupil dilation and stuff and very specific like narcissistic eyes. If you've ever seen Narcissist Eyes, like, up front and close and personal, is fucking something you don't forget because the way the people dilate in those moments. And I am just that fucking dude is a piece of shit, and I am so fucking worried for her, like, genuinely, especially after what we saw with that other creator who passed away, like, was killed by her partner who used to make videos with her and how they were popular and, I'm so terrified for her. There are literally dozens, hundreds of cases you can find of like exes. Like they say that statistically, the most dangerous time is after you've left, like right after you leave. And it's very true. They said that you've a lot of millions of people seen the video of my ex trying to take my life and stuff, and that was after I left. And seeing seeing it is just so disturbing. There's so many cases you can find where, once they get to the point where they feel like they have nothing to lose, they take their lives. Like the case with the little boys in the custody that happened a few years actually it's been over a decade, with the social worker being outside when he blew up the house and stuff. Like there's so much horrific stuff. Lord, that man is a danger, and I really hope she's being safe. And to anybody who follows him and still supports him, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're a piece of shit, just so you know. Like the people who are watching because they're like worried about safety and they're like downloading these clips because he's been posting and then deleting so much, and they're like gathering clips to have evidence to like help her. So like there's documentation of this. That's different. But the people who are like just supporting him in general, what the fuck is wrong with you? I do think it's funny that in the comments of one of his videos where he's like threatening her and stuff, and being crazy, somebody in the comments was like, "Why does he look like?" Why does he look like? Someone said, "Why does he look like Gollum?" From Lord of the Rings, and he kind of does. Oh my god, because he's got gray hair too, and oh my god, you kind of do look like Gollum. You know who else looks like Gollum a little bit? The fucking cat dude, the fucking one we were talking about earlier with the furry, the one that was at that convention. The cat furry plob, the Nazi that tried to fuck his own cat and shit. He kind of looks like Gollum too, a little bit. He kind of does. He kind of does. He's like a mixture of Plob and Gollum over here. Like my precious. Kind of makes me want to hand both of them these shark survival kits. First of all, the fact that this company sent me this still has me fucking dying of laughter. Like when this arrived in my mail, and to be clear, this is not sponsored. I did my video for them already on there on TikTok. And once again, this podcast is unmonetized. It's fucking hilarious because it's just like when Dude Wipe sent me a bunch of shit without me even asking. I was like, damn, y'all really know my content out here. Like, if I didn't even read off the full box, it says on the box of this thing, it says Shard Survival Kit, which once again, I am genuinely considering getting some like extra supplies for this and like giving it to people at conventions. Do you think I'd get in trouble for that? Like if I gave stinky plobs these, like I just walked up to them while in the Plob Patrol cosplay and like handed them the Shard Survival Kit. Do you think I get in trouble for that? I feel like I wouldn't. Like, and I know a lot of people who are con staff and people that are on like con boards and stuff because I've been at the scene for so long. But like, and I'm gonna ask them because I'm really curious. But like on the front of this, it's so funny because it says Shart Survival Kit for when it hits the fan. Did you fart and a little came out? We got you covered even though your sphincter didn't. It says oopsie poopsie disposable underwear, Brown Town, tissue pad, cleaning booty wipes, instructional card, which says I sharted, now what? And then it has like their survival badge. I think it says like we're number one and number two, your dignity bonus pack, poo guard plus and shit. It's fucking hilarious. And I pulled some of these items out and they're fucking actual items. Like the underwear, like it's real disposable underwear and shit. And I really want to, I don't know if that's taking it too far. If I like walk up to people that smell bad at conventions that are like blobs that clearly haven't showered or like shit themselves or whatever, and I just like hand them the shard kit, like the shirt's probably gonna be like, I think you need this, sir. or ma'am, whoever. I feel like it's a more polite way to just hand someone a short survival kit than to just be like, bro, you smell like shit. I feel like it's politer. So like I feel like it should be encouraged to do. But I at the same time I'm worried like somebody's gonna get fucking offended. I'm gonna get in trouble. Let me know if you guys think I should just do it because I've got a con coming up in a few months and I might because the convention I'm going to I already know is gonna have a lot of plobs. I'm very familiar with it. I do want to say there was somebody who asked me how I would like did the plobcast all just like straight in 1 hour. I thought it would probably be obvious that I took breaks because like I'll hit the little pause button because it has like a pause button. It doesn't have like a rewind or anything, but it just has like a pause button. Um, but I don't have any advice on that. I almost forgot that that person messaged me that, but yeah, somebody messaged me that listens and was asking. I told them I was like I don't have any advice on that because I don't. I like I said I've never listened back and listened to a podcast before. Like I just recorded and post and wish for the best because I don't have any of that fancy editing software anyway, so I wouldn't know how to like do that. But I do not record all in one take. I like hit the pause button and take little breaks as I go. It usually takes me like an hour and a half to record an hour thing because I take breaks. So please, if you're like looking to start a podcast or something, please don't like feel like you need to go just an hour straight without breaks. The basic software, like the sound recorder that comes with the computer, like comes with all computers, has like a little pause button. Like I've hit it probably 3 times in the last minute, like hoping you guys can like tell. I always assume people could tell, like where I take breaks, because like I kind of like shift into the next topic, but maybe not. I have no idea. I thought people could, but I guess not. But yeah, please don't feel like you have to if you're like wanting to do content creation or something like that. Please don't feel like you have to just record straight up. Not only for breaks, but also I have speech problems because if you don't know, I am a disabled veteran, and then on top of that, I have issues, even more issues with my spine. It was made worse by having a botched epidural, because where I died for 8 minutes, and then like when I came back, and that fucking resident freaking out and stuff. I have a whole story time on that that went viral like a couple years ago. I also still sometimes struggle with the aphasia, so that's like a thing. That's why our refrigerator is named Cheese, because one time my aphasia played up like really bad, and I could not get the words out, and I just started screaming the word cheese and pointing to the refrigerator, trying to tell my son to close the door. If you don't know, aphasia is a disorder. You can Google it. There's like many things that can cause it. Mine was right after the spinal injury. It was like super bad right after there. I couldn't get anything out properly. Like I had to do speech therapy and all kinds of crap. I was like struggling for a while there. But like it basically makes it so if I'm thinking a sentence and I go to say it, it's something completely different come out. It'll just like come out as gibberish in different words, not like random sounds, like it just completely different words than what you're trying to say. So we have nicknamed things. Like we've made it into a joke around my house. We nickname different things. Honestly, I feel like at some point, and this has not happened yet, but I just feel in my soul at some point something is going to be named a plob. And I don't mean like applaud themselves, but I feel like because I talk about plobs so much that at some point my aphasia is going to act up and the only word that's going to come out of my mouth is going to be fucking plob or something. Also, I almost forgot this, but a plob that we're all familiar with, it's one of the story times that has a picture with it, a certain brony that was inappropriate in a card store. I actually had a friend, so that man is bisexual, by the way. That's important to the story. So I had a guy friend who messaged me and was like, "Oh my god, I think I accidentally hooked up with the plob from one of your stories." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, the local one that's like up in a certain area that you posted and stuff, like the person that you knew." I was like, "Wait, how do you know?" I was like, "What was his name and stuff?" And he told me, and yeah, it was him. He was like, "The reason I realized it was that guy is he started telling me the story. The plob started like they met on a dating app, was hooking up, right? And they they do the do. And he was like, "Yeah, I just thought he was like a really like nerdy twink, and it was like a little weird, but I didn't realize how bad it was until he started talking." I guess they were like sharing funny stories or something in the moment and just like being silly after coitus. And the plob starts telling this story about this thing that he did in a card shop that he thought my friend would find funny. And my friend, like everybody else on the internet who has heard the story and everybody else who like experienced this dude doing it, was like, "What the fuck? Like what?" Like horrified. My friend was like, "Yeah, I like we had talked about hooking up again, but like after that I was like, nope, I don't want anything to do." And I'm like, "Dude, I feel so bad that you even hooked up with this guy." My friend was like, yeah, if I'd known, I just thought he was like a nerdy twink. I didn't realize. And I was like, yeah, that guy's a fucking weirdo. He does come off as normal. He's very good at like fucking, he's really like, he does that manipulative shit when you first start talking to him of trying to be like sweet and innocent and kind and like, oh, so sweet. Like the love bombing shit, right? But he's actually just like a fucking dickhead, with a fucking attitude, like a bisexual chat or whatever they're called, that just happens to be in like fandom space. Like I'll never forget one time he called helping out in emergencies and like domestic violence volunteering drama, and I'm like, bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like that's telling you how shitty of a person you are. These are like one time I was talking about like domestic violence stuff and like volunteering, and he was like, oh, that's, you're in so much drama, and I'm like, you, we're talking about volunteering in domestic violence. What the fuck? Like that tells you how horrible of a fucking person you are to call that drama. The dude also like lied about being like in a consensual, like he very much implied that he was like in this consensual like cuck situation or whatever, like where the husband was a cuck or whatever. And it was like which means consensual, like, right? He very much implied it was consensual, and then he admitted that he like, I ended up finding out that through, you know, mutual people that knew him and stuff, that no, he was just having an affair with his friend that he'd known for a really long time's wife for like a long time behind his back and all kinds of shit. Dude's overall shithead, right? I just think it's funny that he's still out there telling people the story of what he did, thinking that it's funny and not fucking disgusting. Like the fact that he is like telling what like people that he's meeting on dating apps, talking about like hooking up again and like how great of a time he has, and then fucking telling them the story, thinking that's gonna be funny, of the horrific, disgusting thing that he did in the card shop with his brony deck and shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is like the nerd version of an evil twink. What the fuck? Like, Jesus Christ in the plob, like, my God, what in the plob? He was the second plob story I ever told, and that picture is still on my phone and is on the internet forever. And like, the fact that everybody in the comments is like, that's fucking disgusting. And not a single person agreed with him, and nobody in the card shop did either. Like, the card shop actually has a Discord. I don't think he's in there. I don't think he's ever been in there, but like the card shop has a Discord, and like there was people being like, you're not gonna believe what this fucker did. And I will never forget that night because like they were fucking in the Discord. I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going on at the local card shop. And then I fucking get this picture from him and I'm like, what the fuck? I guess that's confirmation that plobs have no shame and they really don't see what they're doing as like disgusting and wrong, because I just could not imagine doing something that disgusting and horrific in the first place, but then to like tell it like it's a funny story thing that like you did. You're a grown man in your 30s, sir. My God, there might be a reason. Yeah, I feel like you're. I'm not. Never mind. I'm gonna be nice and not say that. But God, and that's how a lot of them are. Is what's insane. Like if you ever, that's how I ended up with the fucking incel Telegram group, that like my little hate group of incels and fucking child molester supporters and shit that are on that fucking, both of those groups together that are teaming up now or whatever. Like the fact that they're like, yeah, I don't shower for a month, but that's fine. Like you're the bad guy for telling me I need to bathe. You're the bad guy for telling me not to leave shit streaks at fucking card tournaments in the chair. Like, bitch, what the fuck? Like, like there are plobs who will brag about, like, it's a good thing. They'll be like, yeah, you're not gonna believe this. I gamed for so long. I had 10 bottles of piss in my room. Like, I'm sorry, what? How are you? I just cannot comprehend the mindset of bragging about something like that and not understanding why it's disgusting and why people are disgusted with you. It reminds me of that one story time that was sent in to me. This is like a couple months ago. It was a follower submission where somebody was like talking about how this person had like she went on a date with a guy who was like bragging about like fucking shit in his room, and so like how he had bags of shit in his room. It was like bragging about his score. It was like, yeah, it stinks in here, but I got this high score on this game. And I'm like, what? Like, sir. And then got mad that he didn't get laid. I'm sorry. Doesn't matter what your gender is. If I walk into your fucking room and there's a bunch of bags of shit because you're like bragging about how you're super high in a game because you've been shitting in bags instead of, you know, doing what you're supposed to do, like instead of just using the fucking toilet, because you wanted to get a higher score in the game, I fucking am leaving. I am leaving. I'm fucking suing for emotional goddamn damage, because what the fuck? Well, we are going to end this week's episode, or sorry, this day's episode, because I do two a week, so we're gonna end this episode here. I just remember to hydrate, remember to use sunblock, remember to be careful in the heat. Remember, don't bind or wear sports bras when in extreme heat. It's dangerous. Also, I just realized that I am chewing energy gum by accident, instead of normal gum. So I guess I'm not going to be sleeping much. I mean, I've been sleeping a lot anyways because surgery recovers, so I guess it's not too bad. But like, fuck my life, I am definitely going to be up for a while by accident because yeah, I thought this was regular gum and I accidentally grabbed the energy gum. So hopefully nobody else makes that mistake. Please don't do that. Everybody have an amazing night. And I know I'm cutting it 5 minutes. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. It's just the surgery's been a long week. But as always, I am a Kindle with interchangeable accessories for their pleasure.